Hi, my name is Emily McKay. I am a special education teacher in Fayette County, Georgia. I just finished my 13th year with the district. I currently teach fourth and fifth grade resource and collab, but I've also taught at the middle school level in autism units as well as adaptive curriculum units. As far as dissertation topics, I'm really interested in ideas and topics related to like teacher retention, teacher burnout, especially since COVID. Just I know when I first started teaching 13 years ago, um, the job didn't seem as difficult as it is now, and just all the other factors and things that play into it. I've also kind of just observed kind of just hear kind of through the rumor mill a little bit about just different things that it seems, or at least my impression is that some of the newer graduates or undergrad graduates that are entering the teaching field are not necessarily staying as long, as maybe they have in the past. And so I'm just kind of curious to see if that's really true, or if that's just a something that I've just kind of my own opinion or bias of something. But really interested again in teacher retention or burnout and how it plays. I'm not quite sure if I'm looking, if I would love to compare kind of special education to general education teachers, if there's a difference there. Or if, I'm looking at, maybe special education teachers in an elementary setting versus a secondary setting, or in an urban area versus a suburban or a rural area, all that kind of stuff. So I'm not really quite sure how, where I'd like to focus. I do work in a suburb of Atlanta, so I think having that component is kind of cool. And then again, at the elementary level, there's just different things that come with each teaching level and grade level, pros and cons. So just kind of curious about that. So I'm not quite sure how to tailor that and narrow that down, but it's kind of overall general what I'm thinking. Because I'm kind of thinking more of a qualitative study. Just it's kind of hard to imagine how I could really manipulate things or intervene on something, or to put something in place to see kind of how it pans out. So I'm really kind of thinking qualitative, which is a little intimidating to me because I'm a very black and white person and I really love numbers. And so having qualitative, or kind of going a qualitative route with a little bit more openness to it, and some subjectivity rather than a very clear yes and no answer, it's kind of a little daunting to me. As far as methodologies, thinking of interviews, I just finished Dr. Pope's qualitative course in the spring, and so had the opportunity kind of do an interview, those kind of things. I like interviews as an option, just because you kind of really get to hear more of the heart behind people, and more the emotion of things. So it's kind of what I'm thinking. There may be some other maybe survey kind of something in there as well. As far as my research methodology and my theoretical framework, I honestly struggle with those concepts. I of really defining like what is theory and theoretical framework. And this is I'm starting my second year in my fourth semester of the program, but I have a very hard time kind of wrapping my mind around what that really is. It's a very abstract concept. And I think that's been the hardest thing for me through this program so far, is just having a really good understanding and a level of comfort that I can speak to that and really understand how that plays a role and how that plays a part. And so it's kind of like, do I have kind of a theory that I'm working with, and then that kind of guides what I'm doing, or am I doing what I'm have an idea of what I'd like to look into or research, and then kind of find a theory to go to match with that. I'm not quite sure how to do all that. So that is very intimidating. And I think I just need kind of some more direction and more instruction and more talking through exactly, kind of a definition of what that really means and how it incorporates into all of this. So that's kind of that part. As far as my concerns about the process, I love going to school and I love learning. And, I would I kind of joke that if I would love to be a career student. I joke about I'd love to go to law school and I'd love to go to medical school and I'd love to just learn. So the coursework, is difficult and time consuming, but it has been beneficial and I've learned a lot. But the actual dissertation process and compiling all that information and organizing that information in a clear and succinct fashion is extremely intimidating to me. And a friend of mine is also in the program and kind of, signed in blood that if we were going to do this, we had to do it together. And that has been the one drawback of I'm terrified of it. And so I really want someone to hold my hand. So I am eager to learn all that I can this semester about dissertation and that process because it is extremely terrifying. I would love to take, I'll take 60 more hours of coursework if I cannot do a dissertation. But again, I'm ready to learn and stretch myself and grow in that area. So thank you so much for your support, and I look forward to learning from you this semester. Thanks.